They thought Earth was broken. They thought hunger would make humans weak. But they forgot one thing. A starving human doesn't beg forever. One day, they bite. And when they bite deep. The stars above Earth were quiet, now no more. Patrols. No more council broadcasts. No more trade ships, circling like vultures. From the dark side of Luna. Ji-Hwan watched with narrowed eyes as a council scout ship drifted by, burned out, broken, silent. He didn't speak. He just stared. Around him, the command room of Black Ember Station was buzzing. Dozens of human scientists, hackers, pilots, and survivors were busy. Screens showed intercepted messages. Others tracked enemy movements. There were no flags. Here, no governance. Just one cause. Make them pay. Yuna, the station's lead strategist, stepped beside Ji-Hwan. The message worked, she said. Councils pulling fleets back to protect their home sectors. They're scared. Ji-Hwan didn't smile. They should be. The first strike was only the beginning. They had hit a major relay on a rogue moon. But now came the second phase, the part they called the Ember Rise. Targets weren't military anymore. They were symbols. Places where the Council showed off its power. Monuments, universities, broadcast towers. You break the bones, Yuna said once, but then you crush. The voice. Operation Phase 2. The Library of Cultress. Archive floated above the atmosphere of Zero 4. It wasn't just a library. It was a vault of knowledge, ancient species history, council diplomacy records, artifacts from 1,000 worlds, and deep inside it, the first recorded ruling that called humans unfit for cosmic duty. It was time to burn it. Sang-Woo led the strike team. Formerly a deep-sea engineer, now the squad's demolitions expert. He never talked much, but when he did, people listened. His sister had died in a hospital, blackout solar panels, shot down by unknown interference. But they knew. Everyone knew. As his ship neared the archive, he checked the final detonation timer. 12 minutes, he said into his cone. Planting. Charges now. Confirmed, came Yuna's voice. We go loud. The explosion was not quiet. It could be seen from orbit, a blossom of red and black, tearing through a building that had stood for 10,000 years. Ancient scrolls, data cores, statues, all gone. The Council called it an attack on culture, humanity. Called it a reply, Galactic Council response. Emergency session on Jarthal Prime. S council chambers shook with voices. Crystalline beings buzzed with fear. Amphibious lords wailed. War generals pounded their fists. This is terrorism, cried Chancellor Axareth. They are out of control, shouted another. But General Vacker, tusked and scarred, leaned forward slowly. His voice was calm. No, he said. They are finally in control. All eyes turned to Earth's empty seat. Still no representative. Still no voice. But everyone knew. They were watching. Even the silence felt dangerous. Black Ember's secret weapon, back in Earth's orbit, inside a hidden asteroid base. Yuna and Ji-Hwan stood before something terrifying. A weapon. It wasn't a bomb. It was worse. Project Dustfire, a code-based virus that could infect the Council's central systems. Not destroy, but rewrite. Identity records, fleet logs, economic systems. The Council's web of control would unravel in hours. Are you sure we released this? Yuna asked, her hand hovering over the terminal. Ji-Hwan said nothing. He thought of his mother, who had died waiting for insulin that never arrived. He thought of his father, who sold everything to buy food that never came. And he remembered that humanity begged for help and was mocked. Yes, he said. Let the stars forget who ruled them. And the virus was sent across the stars. Systems collapse. It started slow. Banking systems crashed. Trade stopped. Council ships began firing on each other, confused by false orders. Passports were invalid. Transports couldn't dock. Civilizations that had never known chaos now lived in it. On Trell 9, riots broke out. On Zelmo world, their floating city lost power and fell into the ocean. Even the great moon fortresses of the Tavari Empire blinked offline. For the first time in galactic history, order was gone. And from the shadows, the words appeared again. Humanity does not forget. Humanity does not forgive. This is the price of pride. Naomi's return, the council had exiled Naomi Rue years ago. But now, she stood at their gates again, not asking, but waiting. The guards at the chamber door didn't stop her. Not this time. Inside, Axareth was already trembling. You dare come. Here? He hissed. Naomi walked slowly, eyes calm. Her robe brushed the floor like a silent storm. She stood at the center of the chamber and looked up. No more trials, she said. No more speeches. You attacked innocent systems, cried one delegate. You broke peace. Naomi raised her voice. You called it peace when we starved. You called it justice when we buried our children. You called it diplomacy when we begged for grain and got silence. She looked each alien in the eye. You don't get to name things anymore. Not after this. Earth's final move. The reckoning beacon above the ruins of the relay station. In deep orbit, a single human ship floated. It wasn't armed. It wasn't fast. But it carried something greater. A beacon. It transmitted a single message, repeating endlessly across every frequency. We were quiet. You mocked us. We asked. You ignored us. We bled. You watched. Now we rise. And we remember. The message pulsed through every star system. People listened. Even species who once laughed at Earth now watched in silence. And many began to question the Council. The Council. Falls, it wasn't the bombs that ended the Council. It was doubt. Entire species started pulling out. Alliances broke. Worlds stopped paying tribute. Borders collapsed. The Council had ruled for 1,000 years. It fell in 10 months. One ember at a time. 1 year later, Earth was still rebuilding. Cities once dark now shined again. Crops grew. Children played. But it wasn't peace. It was a new order. In the center of New Sol, a black tower stood. No names on it. Just a quote. Do not strike Earth and expect silence. Ji Huan stood at its base, hand on the stone. Yuna stood beside him. Do you think they'll try again? She asked. Ji Huan looked at the sky. Let them. Far above them, in orbit, the stars blinked. But now, they blinked carefully, because the galaxy had learned one final lesson. You do not make humans desperate, because when humanity is all out of hope, it becomes the thing you fear most. The storm.